Yeah, what's going on? What's happening? What's up out there, world? What's up out there, YouTube? What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Welcome to this fine Wednesday edition of BS with Hannas. It's my little YouTube morning talk show, thought experiment, spoken word piece, monologue time, so on and so forth. Yeah, the whole premise of this, dude, I like to come out here. I like to wake up and take a nice walk, read some good stuff, talk to the people. I'm going to get done here, go lift some weights, go to work, go about my life, go about my business, but got to do the essentials first. That essential morning self development program, some could say. Yo, what up, EMP? Good morning, sir. That's a guitar emoji. That's a skateboard emoji and a flex emoji. Nice. Shred, rip, flex. Fucking A. Yeah, man. So in this particular day, I was walking and a kid was snowboarding. That's a snowboarding emoji, not a skateboard. Well, if you know me, I'm not much of a snowboarder nor a skateboarder. My balance ain't shit all like that. I will fall and uh, wreck myself, as the saying goes. That's all good. It is cold out, man. On my walk this morning, like I was saying, well, side note, remember those, remember over COVID, they gave you those, they mean, they made you wear them, allegedly. But what do they call them? Like a neck gaiter? Not the mask, not the medical mask, but they had the neck gaiters that kind of ran down your whole throat, kind of came up to about there. Yeah, I was walking through my nice, through my nice, well-to-do neighborhood this morning with a big camo jacket on and a fucking neck gaiter up to my nose. That was a. I wonder if I look nice to the neighbors. I feel like I look like a domestic terrorist walking around like that with my shades on and hood up and shit. But you know what? It's cold, and so it is. It's like 30 degrees out, below freezing. Winter time is here. Like I was saying, it's Christmas season, so we gotta act accordingly. But yeah, that shit, just little things like that make me laugh. 5 years ago, it's like, I'm doing this for your safety. I look like this to make you feel safe. As long as you feel safe. We all need to feel safe in this life, right? Shit just amuses me. But also on my walk this morning, I was listening to a video. I found this video online. Let me pull my notes up just so I remember what to talk about. So I found this video online. It was titled, Nobody Wants to Admit This About Manifesting. So naturally, I'm like, what don't they want to admit? What are they withholding from me? That's by a dude named Tim Grimes on YouTube. I wasn't especially impressed per se, but shout out Tim Grimes. Good for you, man. You're out here talking to the people just like I am. I can't hate on you. At least I ought not hate on you. I think his actual at name, so like his username is Tim Grimes, but it was something like Radical Counselor. So what is a radical counselor? Is my first thought. Immediately, I am triggered to the point of like, who's this fucking bull? And that's probably a character flaw of me. As I click to listen to what this fucking bull has to say, I'm already judging him. I ain't heard a word out his mouth, and I'm already quick to aggression. But that's okay. I mean, I enjoyed it, and manifesting is a weird thing to most people in the first place. You kind of have to be, in my view, it took me a while to even be curious about it. I would hear the word manifesting and be like, get your witchy, girly bullshit out of here. Get to work. Come on, ain't you ever put a work boot on in your life? But that's not all there is to it. I find it to be a very deep and dense area of study with a tremendous amount of literature into it. Like to just, even though I have a quick judge response, I don't think I'm alone in that, but I have a very quick judge response. Like, this dude's corny. This is what they don't teach you about manifesting. Well, it's because manifesting's all bullshit. But I'm coming to learn that if you think that way in the first place, if you're just going to hear something and be set off from it, that shows a weakness on your behalf. That's like a legitimate, definitive, that's what it means to be triggered. And we all agree we should not be easily triggered. We ought to be not easily triggered, you know? Triggering, if not, well, I'm triggered all the time, but I like to think it's comedy. I like to think it's comical. I'm embellishing my character and just being funny with it. But like a real, legitimate, actual emotional triggering where you're just seeing red or the programming kicks in, that should be rare. That should be seldom. It should be few and far between. But manifesting triggers people. People, it looks like bullshit from the outside. Just imagine it. Just imagine it. And one day it'll be yours. If you just think about it and you just focus on it and you just pray for it and dream for it, it'll show up in your lap. And that's not all there is to it, though. That's not all there is to it. The more I read about it, it's the most captivating element of like self development that there is. Because we can only be told so many times go work out, get your body right, get in the gym, eat right, don't be a slob, sleep right, don't be lazy. You know, we can only be told so many times all the basic, obvious, self evident motherfucking truths out here. If we choose to act on them or not is up to us. You know, no one can make you do something. And if someone makes you do something, if it's under fucking forced compliance, you ain't really doing it. You know, oh, I guess I'll go work out because, you know, my friend's making me do it. You ain't going to get a real workout then. You get no thumos from a workout you don't fucking care about. You get that higher, elevated sense of soul, sense of power, sense of fuck yeah. When you're like, I'm fucking chasing the dream right now. I am entering a realm. That's where that shit comes from. That's a long way of saying that it needs intent. You know, that actual intent behind it, I think, is the most important thing. So as I read, you know, my Napoleon Hill, as I read my Neville Goddard and Emmett Fox, Joseph Murphy, all these fucking people, you know, I'm a big fan of it because it all started for me with Outwitting the Devil, Napoleon Hill, where the devil wants you drifting. The devil wants you to be unfocused and unintentional drifting. The devil wants you drifting through life because then you're easily ensnared by some bullshit. And the antidote to that is to live intentionally and to find an end to work towards. This is Jordan Peterson 101 circa 2017. You know, find something to orient yourself towards and then go to that inch by inch, step by step. And when you really unpack that and extrapolate that, you can do it with some woo-woo magical thinking. You can find all these old quasi esoteric things to back it up and reinforce that way of living. And it all just strengthens each other. You know, how is that anything but manifesting? If one day you think to yourself, James Allen, as a man thinketh, if one day you think to yourself, man, I want to be a big bad motherfucker with big bad biceps and shit, you slowly take each step inch by inch to get a foot, to get as many feet as it takes to get a mile. Then one day you literally did manifest that. It was an idea in your fucking head that one day materializes. How is that anything but manifesting? By the words, by the actual language involved. So I think it's fascinating, but it does come with that connotation of gentle, soft spoken people, you know, gentle, soft spoken people. We just got to really think about it and be in tune and be in touch and get our energy right and get in alignment with our true soul sense of power. Wouldn't you just need to get fired the fuck up sometimes, I think. But that's just me. Maybe that's just my particular flavor. So in any event, I'm listening to this video. I'm curious. I'm like, what are they not telling me? I have all these books and I spend time reading these books. And I'm taking notes and I'm pondering things and I'm meditating on ideas as I walk and I ponder and I fucking freeze my face off so I look like a domestic terrorist. But I need to be at peace. That's what I'm thinking about. What are they not telling me? And basically, his whole video was about running into resistance when incorporating manifesting principles. Okay. Running into resistance. It's almost like you actually can't just think of a thing and summon it into your life. So while I enjoyed this dude's content, I'm like adversarial with it just by default. Because I've spent a couple, you know, maybe a year and a half, 2 years, not quite dedicated to studying this stuff, but definitely invested, definitely actually working on it, you know, like studying it insofar as I fucking can. And I've seen miscellaneous results. I've seen those little plants bear fruit in small ways, but I can also see those small fruit bearing plants. I can see the trajectory now. I can see them beginning to turn into bigger things, bearing different fruit, more impactful fruit, more nourishing fruit, dare I say. So I'm on the same shit, but I'm like, damn, I'm adversarial to this guy. And he started his video all weird, that real like creepy counselor smile, you know, like he's trying to be the friend of the viewer. Yeah, I don't know. That shit turns me off a little bit, but what do I know? I'm not a radical counselor. I'm just a fucking dude out here playing guitar, putting sunglasses on, talking some shit a few mornings a week. Anyway, so yeah, his whole video was about running into resistance when incorporating manifesting principles. And he was saying that as you read this stuff and as you run into resistance, it'll make you like question, what am I doing wrong? What's wrong with me? If everything is about imagining the feeling from the end result fulfilled and working backwards to reverse engineer this whole thing, but I can't do it. I'm running into a stumbling obstruction. It's a roadblock. I can't get over it. What's wrong with me? He's saying that a lot of the teachings give the impression that if you're not experiencing success with it, that means you're doing it wrong. And then he says, if you're doing it wrong, these people in their teachings, in their writings, in their essays, in their lectures, they don't really tell you, they don't really coach you how to not do it wrong. They just say that you're doing it wrong, so do it right. Do it right, and you'll get the right result, which is sound to me. It's not fun. And if you're running into roadblocks of this thing that you're so allegedly committed to, and you can't get past this one level, it's like a video game. You're fucking frustrated on a boss. The only real solution is grow up, kid, get better. If you suck at the game, you're going to keep sucking at it. And that boss is going to keep smacking you up. No shit. That's just how it goes. So he made a whole video about it. And he didn't really seem to like the fact that they didn't have answers for it. He's doing like this weird like psychologist, like counselor language. And this shit strikes out to me. This shit like sticks out when I hear it. He's talking about the tension of being uncomfortable in the body while trying to integrate these teachings and not feeling safe. What? What? You're uncomfortable in your body, so you're tense and stressed and aggravated and pissed off probably. But of course you are. If you're like a child and you just want that toy and the powers that be say no toy for you, that creates a negative response, of course, obviously, self-evidently. So this dude's like, this is radical counseling, I guess. You have to become safe in your body. Now, maybe I'm misquoting the guy. Maybe I'm pulling some sophist bullshit, but I just listened to it this morning and it was interesting enough for me to talk about out here. He said, you have to figure out how to work through the resistance without feeling shame or unsafe or a lack of mind-body coherence. Now, I'm paraphrasing, of course. But yeah, if you're dreaming big and you're getting small results and you're frustrated by it, that's your problem. That is your problem. That ain't the Jedi Master's fucking problem that the Padawan can't tap into the Force or some other stupid, like, low-level cinematic metaphor allusion to the same phenomenon. Yeah, you're trying everything in the world, but you still can't hit that fucking 300-pound bench press. That's me. You're doing everything you can. At least you say you are. If you are or not, but, you're trying. And you're still getting mad at that one lift. It ain't the weight's fault. It ain't the teaching's fault. It ain't the fault of the grander powers that be that you're frustrated and you can't manage your frustrations. I mean? It's just one of those things. And, he said most people fail at this. And 95% of the stuff online is hype and bullshit. He says that 95% of the stuff you see online about manifesting and the law of attraction. What's the other one? The law of assumption. That's Neville Goddard. Assuming that the end is already true and working within that, within the feeling. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and then live your life in that. He's saying that most people that glamorize and sensationalize this on the internet are full of shit. And of course, because most people on the internet are full of shit. That is obvious as well. But there's billions of people in this world, and there are millions of them putting motherfucking opinions and shit online. Hey, yo, what's up, Jerome, right? He said he put 6 Ferraris on his vision board, but all he got was a credit card debt. Yeah, and that's your fault, idiot. You know what I mean? You're gonna blame Ferrari for that? Yeah, like it's goofy. And sometimes this shit gets kind of goofy. It gets real like magical and woo, I'm gonna visualize and put this on my. But there's a lot of truth to it too. There's a lot of motherfucking truth to it too. I'm seeing it in my life, but they're small. They're small wins. They're not the big wins. I don't have a Ferrari on my vision board, but I would love me a nice motherfucking murdered out Corvette Stingray. I ain't any closer to having it. You know what I mean? I'm not any closer to that big, massive win. But if I constantly visualize that and really, really apply it, the whole point of the teachings is that you turn yourself into that person. The law of exposure, your fucking brain is working in a predictive way almost that as you constantly employ things to fucking turn into that dude, you're going to gradually, very gradually turn into that dude. And that's true. Like, that's basic. That's fucking obvious. If you're a 13-year-old kid and you see yourself as a bad motherfucking star quarterback, and you hit the weights, you start running laps, you start throwing the ball, you start doing this, you start doing that, you're gonna fucking be closer to that dude than you were if you didn't. When I was 13, I saw myself as a bad motherfucker with tattoos and ripped t-shirts and long hair, singing and fucking playing on a stage and ripping a guitar. Within about 6 years, I was that dude. Now I'm the bald-headed, badass, more badass version. So I like to think. And it all comes from that mental seed, man. It's like it's all really true. And this guy, as I'm listening to his video, he made a point to say that he has a Zen, he's got a Zen background. He said, Jerome Wright says, I don't imagine dudes because that's gay. Well, you're right. So think about your motherfucking self. Think about your motherfucking self and what you want. And get yourself out that credit card debt, homeboy. That's a bad move. That's how they get you. That's how they win. But I digress. We're from Atlantis. Yo, you don't know about Atlantis, and that's another day. I don't talk about these things in the morning. In the morning, I like to just talk about good stuff, even though I sound like a fucking jaded hater sometimes. I don't want to worry about the woes of the world, the evils of the world, the fucking esoteric implications of secret societies and conspiracy theories actualizing themselves into mind control, MK Ultra, fucking pro. That's how they get you. You wake up, you start thinking about that, you suck. You jackass. Straight up. Get up and do something good for yourself, which is something I've learned and is extremely helpful. So I wake up and I take a nice walk and I ponder things like manifesting and visualizing and the law of attraction and so on and so forth. I'm a fucking read some good stuff, talk to the people, and it's shoulder day today. Fucking get wide, son. But anyway, now we're spiraling. Oh, I love it. Thank you to you guys in the chat. It fucking feeds it. It feeds it. So I don't know. Guy said he has a Zen background, and I can't help but think he's got a Zen background. How about a lifting background? You're talking about being uncomfortable in your body, and maybe I'm that dude where it's like everything's about the gym with you. Everything's about just being as strong as you can and lifting as much. What are you, an egocentric prick? Yeah, a little bit. You got a Zen background, and you're talking about feeling unsafe and incohesive in your thoughts and body, mind and body, leaving out the soul. But the soul is what wants. The soul is what yearns. You ever synthesize the two, buddy? How many push-ups can you do? What's your bench? What's your squat? You ever use your body? Or are you like relaxing, working on patience, working on feeling calm, tranquility, tranquility, tranquility? Is that what you are, counselor? Radical counselor would tell you to get off your motherfucking ass, go get some. That's just what I think, at least. But that's also half the shit that I listen to and half the stuff I respect and value. He used this thing. He had something, an answer that was called trustful passivity. When you're so frustrated with not getting the results that you want, you have to just be trustful and passive and just let time do its thing. And I've talked about that many times. There's chronos time, that's chronological, just existing from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock and so on and so forth, linear time. And then there's that idea of kairos time, where from the above, the powers that be, there's a horizontal or vertical line that comes in and it's an intersection. It's an intersection where you step into the right moment. What's that thing they say about success? Success is preparation meeting opportunity, something to that effect. Those are kairos moments. And if you do all the work, you do all the ground step, you do all the important reps in the dark, the unseen work. No applause, no glamour, no nothing, no reward, no money, no super chats, no buy me a coffee, none of that shit. No subscribers on Patreon except DMP. You're the fucking man. You do all the reps in the dark, and then that moment happens, and boom, you're ready for it. That's trustful passivity. My dude online, Andy Frisella, he fucking calls it aggressive patience. And aggressive patience only works if you're doing the right thing every day. If you're making small wins, stacking small W's every single day, always moving that needle a little bit closer to that fucking ideal form. Neville Goddard talks about imagining the feeling from the wish fulfilled. I was talking about wishful thinking the other day. You can wish all you want, motherfucker. What you doing to get it? What you doing to get it? What you doing to earn it? What you doing to earn it? And that's important. Which brings me to something from my my main book right now, Iron Hope. from the fucking marathon man, triathlon man, a hard motherfucker, James Lawrence. Uh, Here's a step: manageable pieces towards getting to a goal. And this is like, maybe I'm just deep in this material right now. So it's pretty obvious to me, which is good. It means I'm learning. It means I'm applying. It means I'm much better now than I was fucking 3 years ago, where it's a Wednesday. So I was probably hungover. So it goes. James Lawrence, here's the steps for manageable pieces. You start small. You take the next step. You fuel your momentum. You celebrate small wins. You link small wins together to create bigger wins. Success unfolds. Wins multiply. Remember, there's only one way out, and that's through. You shouldn't need a fucking counselor to tell you that shit. What you got to do is get up and get some. But anyway, that's my fucking Wednesday morning. Fired up on this fine Wednesday. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. This has been a fine Wednesday edition of BS with B. Hannas. That's me. It's here on YouTube. I'm Nikki B. Hannas. This is on YouTube at BS with B. Hannas. It goes out to Spotify Podcast, Apple Podcast, so on and so forth. You can find my music, heavy blues metal, nickybhannas.com, nickybhannas.bandcamp.com, Nikki B. Hannas on all streaming services. My other YouTube channel, Nikki B. Hannas. There's some live footage, a couple music videos, as official as it gets to this point of my manifesting abilities. And the backing track Jam Along series, which is a lot of fun to do. That's pretty much all my creative stuff right now. I haven't written in a hot minute, but that's okay. Patreon.com/Nikki B. Hannas for everything I do in one cohesive feed. Dr. Benny Hannas handing out a dissertation this morning. Yeah, buddy. Appreciate you, Jerome. One of these days, we're going to fucking hit the range again, dude. Anyway, I'm out of here. Got to go do shoulders. Hundreds of reps. Front delt, center delt, rear delt, and traps. Get big in this motherfucker. Keep it real. Happy Wednesday. One love. Peace.